Hello, and welcome back to MSU Magazine, the show where we bring you original content made by talented media students right here at Morehead State University. I'm your host, Christy Hall, and on today's episode, we'll be stopping by with fellow students Pacey Rhodes and Lindsay Lewis with CinemaSense, where we'll be getting a behind-the-scenes look at the new The Walking Dead spin-off series. After that, we'll be cooking up some cookies with Sydney Graham and me on Family Tradition. Let's join some walkers in the apocalypse and see the ones who live.
Hey, welcome back to CinemaSense, and today we'll be talking about The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. A new spin-off airing on AMC and AMC Plus, following the story of Rick and Michonne.
Wait, isn't The Walking Dead about them anyways?
Well, yes, but in Season 9, Rick met his fate after Maggie and Daryl led him away from Alexandria to take out Negan for what he's done to the group. Getting kicked off a horse while he was herding walkers and being impaled onto a piece of rebar. Pulling himself up, he heads to the only place that he knows that he can stop the horde.
Rick blows the bridge up, killing him and saving the communities and his newfound family.
But wait, he's alive and Jade has saved him. Saving him might be a stretch to say though. Rick Grimes is now being held prisoner to the world's most powerful military force, the CRM.
Held captive for 10 years in a secret city in Philadelphia, he's tried to escape more than once. He's tried 4 times. Each attempt to go back home, he's put back into the CRM, cutting his hand off in one attempt while leashed to get back home.
The military saw something in Rick and wanted him to be a part of their cause, to make a new world. Rick, always plotting somehow to get back to his family, joins the military and stops fighting against the machine. He becomes a cog, joining the CRM in fear of them coming after everything he knows and loves.
After facing setback after setback, Rick refuses to give up hope, clinging to the belief that he'll one day reunite with his loved ones. One of the standout aspects of this spin-off is Okafor, a high-ranking member of the CRM who sees potential in Rick and his fellow consignee, Thorne.
While Rick clings on to hope of reuniting with Michonne, Judith, and the other survivors in Alexandria, Thorne accepts this harsh reality that their loved ones may be gone for good.
She and Rick become pawns in Okafor's plan to change the CRM from within, as they are working their way up to become leaders for the new generation of survivors. They seek to challenge the secrecy and mindset of the current leadership.
Rick still talks to his loved ones even if he can't reach them. In his letters to Michonne, Rick tells her of the inner workings of the city and his decision to join Okafor's CRM squad, not out of loyalty, but as a means of securing his escape.
Despite the circumstances, Rick's resilience to the new world shows as he works his way up the ranks in his new reality away from everything he knew.
Rick tells himself that in his new life he has died, without what he once had, turning the original show's title into a whole new meaning, with Rick being the Walking Dead, echoing back to his speeches in the original show.
The show airs 9 p.m. Sundays and streams on AMC Plus the same day. Make sure to tune in for episode 3 this Sunday.
This has been Pacey Rhodes
And Lindsay Lewis.
See you next time on CinemaSense.
Woo!
Be sure to tune in on CinemaSense, where you'll get anything Walking Dead, Marvel, DC, anything nerdy, cool, or fun. Next episode of The Walking Dead will be on March 10th. See you soon.
Take a walk around downtown Morehead and follow the Morehead, Kentucky Turtle Walk that was put together by the Round County Arts Center and Round County Tourism. Located all around Main Street are turtles sponsored by businesses to showcase local art. They are found at places like the Fuzzy Duck, Gaddy's Pizza, and other locations around Morehead. Take a walk and capture your picture at all these iconic locations with all these iconic turtles, and see if you can spot all 21 turtles. To find more information, Google Morehead Turtle Walk or scan this QR code. What is that? What? Oh, it's just you.
It's crazy how Rick has changed the meaning of the show's title, making him the Walking Dead. It's good to see that some of the original cast of the show is back in action again. You better be careful though. Some walkers have been caught roaming around the studio. To stay safe from them, we're going to join Sydney Graham and me in the kitchen to recreate fellow media students Katie Pierce's family recipe for some good chocolate chip cookies. Let's go see how successful we were this round.
Oh, good to see you again. And welcome back to another episode of Family Tradition,
The show where we cook your family recipes.
and then taste test them to see how close we can get.
I'm Christy in the kitchen,
And I'm Sydney
and today we are making the good chocolate chip cookies.
from Katie Pierce's family.
Now, what's the good chocolate chip cookies?
Well, sometimes families will have a couple different chocolate chip recipes for cookies, so that way they can have, some that they take to school, some that they give to new neighbors that move in, but then they have the good recipe that they keep for themselves. So big thanks to Katie for letting us borrow the good chocolate chip cookie recipe. To get started, we need 3/4 of a cup of both butter and shortening, and we actually already have the perfect amount of butter, so we aren't gonna need to cut any of that, but we are gonna need to cut on the shortening. So we're gonna find the 3/4 of a cup line, and then cut right through.
Is this the excess?
That's the extra.
What do we do with it?
We put it in the fridge.
We put it in the fridge.
The key to making really good cookies is to let your butter cream for as long as you possibly can. So we're gonna go ahead and put the butter and the shortening both in the mixer.
To ensure the butter gets fully mixed up, we gotta scrape down the sides of the mixing bowl.
Next, we need to add a cup of brown and white sugar to the butter and shortening. When scooping brown sugar, you have to be careful to pack it into the measuring cup, otherwise you won't get an accurate measurement. Now that the sugar's in, we'll start mixing again.
Now it's time to crack the eggs. To ensure to not get any eggshells, we are going to crack them into a separate bowl. And this is scary. Oh, that doesn't. Oh, is that right?
Yeah, use your thumbs.
Use my thumbs. That doesn't. Oh.
We'll add the eggs separately and then mix so they are well incorporated.
The most important part of any cookie recipe is the vanilla extract. So now we're gonna add 2 teaspoons.
Now it's time to mix our dry ingredients. We have flour, salt, and baking powder, right?
Yes.
Baking powder.
I'm gonna start with 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And that's all for the flour. And now we need to add a teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking powder.
Now it's time to whisk.
This is a good way to hold the whisk. I know it's not the professional way. Do not do as you see. This is not how you're supposed to hold it. You're supposed to hold it
Like
like
that.
this.
Christy, it's a cooking show. They're supposed to do as they see.
Do as you see now, not as you saw earlier.
These are walnuts that we toasted earlier in the oven. And now we're gonna go ahead and get them chopped up so we can put them in the cookies.
See, my family likes to put it in a baggie
And beat it.
and beat it with like one of the hammers that you use for like meat.
Now it's time to incorporate the flour mixture into our butter and sugar mixture. We're gonna do this 1 cup at a time, mixing and scraping the bowl down in between, so that way we can make sure everything gets thoroughly incorporated and there's no dry spots or lumps.
Now that we have all the flour mixed in with the rest of the mixture, it is time to hand mix the walnuts and our chocolate chip cookies to make it the good chocolate chip cookies.
Those cookies sure look good.
It's an arm workout.
Now that we have the chocolate chips and nuts thoroughly mixed into the cookie dough, it's time to place the cookie dough onto the sheet pans to get it ready to go in the oven.
Now we put the cookies in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
Now that the cookies are done, let's go to the taste test.
Welcome back. We are here with our special guest, Katie Pierce.
Hello.
So would you like to try to see how close they were?
Sure. Okay. They look good.
They taste just like my grandma used to make. Yeah, she always made her cookies a lot crispier and crunchier, and these taste a lot like that. 10 out of 10. Amazing.
Yeah. That was bad. Listen.
This has been another exciting episode of Family Tradition. Join us in 2 weeks when we try to cook someone else's family recipe.
Cheers.
Now, how should we set this scene? Maybe it should be outside? Maybe not. Let's try a car. Kinda cramped. How about a stairwell? That works. Now for music. Too silly. Perfect. Now for dialogue.
Welcome back. I'm thoroughly pleased with how well we recreated Katie Grandma's cookies. A 10 out of 10 is a win in my book. I can still smell those cookies all the way in the studio, and I can't wait to take another crack at some recipes. We'll just have to wait until next time to see the cooking masters at work and what fantastic shows Pacey and Lindsay will talk about next. We thank you for tuning in for the second episode, and we hope you have a wonderful week. See y'all next time.